Well, sometimes you can save yourself out of business.
You can step over $10 bills to pick up dimes.
Yep.
Man, you really can. There's a freaking episode right there. Welcome to another episode of the Overlap Podcast, a quick hit, by the way, where we dive into the intersections of work, fitness, family, faith, parenting, and leadership. And on this podcast, we believe that growth in one area of your life fuels growth in all areas of your life. And that's why we're committed to taking these lessons we've learned from business, in business, breaking them down into simple, actionable insights and empowering small business leaders to thrive. And that's what we're doing each and every day, because our mission is to help entrepreneurs not just succeed, create meaningful impacts in their lives, their businesses, their families, and their communities. So we got a quick hit today. And these are designed to just be, like it says, quick hits. We're not going deep and giving you multiple action steps and uncovering, discovering great insights. But we're really just taking, quick thoughts that hopefully kind of keep you moving in the right direction. And today we've got listen to your gut. Isn't that right, Keith?
That's right. You know where I need growth today, though?
Not your gut?
I'm not there.
Okay.
I need it definitely in learning to do an ad.
Learning to do an ad,
Yeah, y'all
okay.
just laughed at me a long time as I was trying to spit that ad out.
I actually laughed way less than what I wanted to. My gut instinct was not laugh as much. It will make you feel worse.
Well, I dropped the F word, so
multiple times.
Yeah,
and usually that's my job. So listen to your gut is the quick hit today, and the idea is this: Keith and I have had multiple experiences where we're going down a path. Maybe a team is saying something. Maybe a client is suggesting something, or some other scenario. But we kind of know that it's not the right thing to do, and we just don't say something. Right?
Been there.
My God, I feel like I've had a couple of years of that.
I think I've been caught in a perpetual cycle of that lately.
Yeah.
Where I've gone against my gut for practicality in some ways, and the practical didn't work out.
Okay. I don't know. Maybe mine lines up with yours, but kind of my thing is leadership. And in doing so, I'm trying to empower people to become, good leaders themselves, right? There's been times where I think, I don't feel like this is the right thing to do, but I want them to make a decision and own it, and I don't want to micromanage or whatever, and I don't say anything, and I know it's not right. I know it's not, but I'm minimizing what's the worst thing that could happen. And I don't think that it becomes the worst thing. It just is always worse than the minimized outcome that I've rationalized me not saying something with. And it just always costs me time, money, energy, sometimes people. And it's just, we need to have a discussion about trusting your gut.
Have you ever... I've always been a person that's gone counterintuitive to the crowd, typically.
Okay. Not with that shirt. You look like the rest of the crowd. But go ahead, carry on.
I know, and that's why everybody thinks is accepting
that's
me
a good
today.
Point. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Good point.
And I think I've caught myself over the last couple years, I would say 2 years.
Yeah. Now that you've had a job.
Following the crowd more.
Well, yeah, you work for the man now.
No, I don't. But
I was winding the text thread up yesterday, boy.
Yeah, you were. But I think I've acted like it a little bit.
You have.
And even the things that I've done, and most of the things that I'm talking about right now is financially. I thought I had to flow along, because a lot of times you get in business and we get in this place where we've gone against the grain so much, we think, oh, the grain may look better this way. Right? We go with it.
Oh, okay.
And I think that's hurt me over the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Where if I had gone with my gut, I may be I don't know if I would be in a better place.
Yeah.
But I may be in a better place than I am right now.
Perhaps.
And so we're just going to have a conversation today over, sometimes the experience that we've amassed in our past has taught us a great deal about who we are as people.
Yeah. Yeah.
As operators of businesses,
Yeah.
as dads, as husbands, as, entrepreneurs. And a lot of times the thing that it looks like we should do, we shouldn't. And our gut tells us that. Right?
Right. Yeah, man. Okay. I'm with you on that. You did land the plane there. And yeah, following your gut can allow you and force you to go against the grain a little bit. Because sometimes, and maybe more times than we realize, that the counterintuitive thought is really the way to go. I'll just say this. My experience has been this, and like I mentioned before, my leadership being kind of a focus of mine. I want to develop people and give them agency and develop them to the point where they're making decisions, and I'm in on those decisions, and they're relatively large, and I just don't say anything because I don't want to step on toes and I don't want to seem like a micromanager. The fact is that you're not being a micromanager if you step in and just say, hey guys, I got to just say something. I know you're running down this path and you've given it some thought. Have you really given it enough thought? Because this just doesn't seem or feel right. And maybe I'm wrong, so I can sandwich it with that or soften it with that. Maybe I'm wrong, but just help me understand your thesis on this. And really, I'm just trying to say, man, you got to convince me on this. It doesn't seem like the right thing to do to elevate this person. I feel like you're doing that because you just have a relationship with that person and it's easy. My gut says, and my gut, and we're going to get to this, is typically right on this stuff because I'm the one with the experience. I'm the one that has made a majority of the hires in this organization. I'm the one that has had to deal with it when they don't go right. So, my gut is a little more sensitive to these things than perhaps someone else that doesn't have that same experience.
And quite frankly, I'm on the hook if it goes bad.
Yes, that's the real, and that's the explanation point at the end of that thought process is that, well, we talked about in our last podcast that, you can't abdicate your responsibility. And that's really an area where you cannot abdicate your responsibility when it comes to trusting your gut and it comes to decisions for your team, for your organization, direction you're going,
Let
things
me just
like
say,
that.
if your gut has worked in the past, that may be trust your gut, but if it's failed you more times than it's helped you,
yeah, maybe
you may need to get a new gut.
Well, I do think that, you can over-index on gut and not do the work, which
Definitely
would be,
so.
Getting the information, data, whatever it is, and whatever the scenario is, and trying to let that give you the answer. But I mean, lots of times the answer is somewhat ambiguous and you kind of got to trust the gut.
Hey, let me tell you about a friend of the show called Content Fresh. Since they've taken over our social media for the Overlap podcast, we've seen incredible growth. When you combine the growth from all social platforms, we're looking at a massive increase of 2,235%. This partnership has truly transformed our reach and engagement. If you're passionate about growing your business, partnering with Content Fresh could be a game changer for you. Go to overlaplife.com and click on sponsors today.
I want to take a moment to talk about someone who's been instrumental in my personal and business success. That's Johnny Barranco and his team at Barranco and Associates. For over 7 years, Johnny has been my go-to accountant and financial consultant. I can tell you that he's more than just a tax preparer. Johnny takes a holistic approach to all my financial dealings, aligning them with my long-term plans and personal lifestyle. I've recommended Johnny to several friends throughout different business groups around the country, and the feedback has been nothing short of exceptional. His expertise and service are top-notch. So if you're looking for someone who not only prepares your taxes, but also helps you strategize for the future, Johnny and his team at Barranco & Associates are the ones to call. Trust me, you won't regret it. So contact Johnny Barranco today and take the first steps towards financial peace. You're not going to regret this. Malcolm Gladwell wrote a really good book called Blink. I think was that his second book? It's The Power of Thinking Without Thinking. And in there, he's talking about listening to your gut and how incredibly powerful it can be, but only when it's backed by expertise and experience. So I'm not going to listen to my gut when it comes to, I don't know, the mechanics of my car. I'm not a mechanic. I can change some oil and stuff, and I can do some things. And I've changed brakes, and I've changed CV joints and things like that out of necessity in the past. But I'm not like a wrench guy. So I'm not gonna trust my gut that this transmission's great. I'm going to take it to someone that's got a little more expectation.
Yeah, every time I've tried to do that, like with a car or something, I just break it more.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm going to drive this. I don't think it's that bad.
Right.
Just because I don't want to spend the money.
That's right. Yeah, and in that regard, is it my gut or is it me just rationalizing because I don't want to spend the money?
What did you just say? It was a good line. Trust your gut only when Malcolm Gladwell
when it's backed by expertise and experience.
Yeah, I think that's the point I was trying to make earlier. Is that your expertise and your experience should kind of be the navigation of whether you should trust your gut or not.
Yeah, and
that's what I meant by working in the past. Has your gut led you to a good place, and then you tried to follow it? That's the whole grain analogy I was making. And then you started following the grain, and it got worse because that's what I did.
Yeah, well, I was trying to go with the grain, go with the flow.
Yeah, or go with the philosophy that everybody else that's been successful has, that it may not work for you.
Yeah. The same thing could be for parenting. Let kids have free space, or let them take their phone. Kids should have a phone at whatever age. And I'm like, no way.
Yeah, sometimes
you can have a phone, but
right.
no social media. You can have call and text. That's it. And that's a little bit against the grain, and they need to know these things, and they're going to be on them anyways. I'm like, I don't care, man. I'm just trying to keep them out of social media for as long as possible, and 16's my age. And just that's what I'm trying to stick with. And that's a little bit against the grain. Who knows? Maybe I'll be wrong about that. But back to the Blink and trusting your gut. One of the things that he talks about is thin slicing. And it was like the brain can make snap judgments based on limited information, especially when it's got experience and expertise in whatever that field is. It's just going, bam. You don't even have to finish your statement. I already know what you're talking about, and I already know what the answer is. And I've been there. You've been there in your industry, right? I've been there in my industry. I'm like, oh, yeah, know what that is. I've seen it. I know what it is. And he talks about experience matters. Gut instincts are most reliable when they come from trained intuition, not random hunches. Experts in their fields make better snap decisions. And that's kind of what he was saying before. But then bias can corrupt instinct. So unconscious bias can distort gut feelings, leading to poor decisions. When you're dealing with kids or people, you can be biased about who you like and start maybe rationalizing behavior, and you don't trust your gut that you probably need to make a change or do something different or have a different approach. That was my interpretation of bias, is that, and it's usually coming to people, where I'll just cover up some possible red flags and I'll keep moving in the same direction instead of stopping and trusting my gut and going, I need to address this and make sure this is right before we keep adding more to their plate or more responsibility or not addressing it. Look like you're going to say something.
Yeah, I think that's where I mess up sometimes.
Yeah.
Is I will, because I am bullheaded, even when I know it's a mistake, I don't want to look like it's a mistake, so I keep pushing through.
Yeah, you're going to double down.
I'm going to double down.
That's sunk cost fallacy. Sunk cost fallacy. I've already invested this amount of time. I'm going to see it to the end. It's going to be successful. No matter what it's telling me right now, all the information, all the feedback loop I'm getting right now, I'm still going to push forward because with my magnificent charm or whatever, I'm going to make this thing work.
I think we get so enamored with growth sometimes, and we know it's not time to grow, but we're just going to try anyway.
Okay. Yeah.
And it cost me.
Yeah.
This year in the publishing company, I said, we're just stopping.
Okay.
We're not going to push new projects. We're not going to push growing markets. We're going to stop and we're going to round the horses up.
Circle the wagons?
Circle the wagons.
Oh. That's what they did when the Indians attacked.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Yeah, and so
I grew up in Oklahoma.
But I felt like we had that a lot. We had a lot of attacks coming.
Yeah, let's circle up the wagons.
Let's circle the wagons and get that secure.
Yeah.
Because you can't, if you don't have that secure, you can't grow.
Yeah, so that's bias, just unconscious or conscious bias. And for me, it's usually people. Maybe it's decisions too. Maybe it's markets, maybe it's a product, but we all kind of have those biases and we need to make sure we're checking that.
I think we were in decision fatigue.
Yeah.
That we had made so many decisions over the last few years and we had done so much that, and in everything in me was just saying stop, and I didn't.
Man, you are segueing me right into the next one, which is deliberation can hurt decision making. And that can give you a lot of fatigue. Like overthinking sometimes makes us less accurate than quick, instinctive judgment. Because especially if it's in a field, in an arena that you've got some real expertise in, you've got some real multiple decade long experience in, overthinking it, get paralysis by analysis or think long, you think wrong kind of stuff. You make good decisions usually with that first instinct.
Yeah.
Usually. It's not, kind of like everything, it depends. But deliberation can hurt decision making. And that also leads to decision fatigue, which is a real thing, people. It's a real thing. I tried to explain that to my wife. She did not believe it. But about 10 years later, she started believing me. And the last thing out of that Blink book is know when to trust it. If you have experience and data, gut instinct is often right. If you're in unfamiliar territory, you should slow down and analyze more carefully. And so that just means, again, in an area where you've got some real experience and real expertise, you ought to trust the gut. If it's unfamiliar, it's something new, it's something different, you might want to slow down and think about it.
Yeah, sometimes science isn't right, And that's what he talks about in Blink a lot. That sometimes it's counterintuitive to even science.
Isn't that what science is, though?
Yeah, it is.
I mean, and that's why I like Malcolm Gladwell. I love that guy. I wish he lived next door to me so I could just chat with him all the time. I would invite him over.
I probably wouldn't understand much he said, but I would just get it a little bit.
Yeah, you would. He just always investigates things that we sort of take for granted as being true and then says, no, it's actually this. I love that stuff. And I think that's the heart of science, of getting to what the truth is and not just accepting what is put out there for what the truth is. He'll go in to actually research it and do the deep dive. And, maybe a bigger study is out there that no one's heard of, that kind of stuff.
You ever met someone and made a instant judgment, and it may be a negative judgment?
Oh, yeah, plenty of time.
That turned out to be right.
Plenty of time.
And then some other people chastised you for it, and then you start feeling guilty about it.
Yeah.
Like, why should I really think that about that? And then that turns out, and even situations too.
I don't know if anyone's chastised me about it. Most of the time, I'll stay quiet about those, but. I have misread that book by its cover and ended up being something different. I will say this though, when it comes to people, I'm usually pretty good.
Yeah, me too.
I'm usually pretty good. And my wife will usually be like, "What do you think?" Because she's usually not great.
Yeah.
So trust your gut. Listen to your gut. It will help you. It's there for a reason, but make sure that you're listening to your gut when you've got experience and expertise in an arena. If not, slow down and analyze the data a little bit more, maybe ask some more questions. But there's lots of times when you should trust your gut, and we're encouraging you, empowering you to do that.
Yeah, the only person that should really trust his gut about rocket science is Elon Musk.
Elon Musk, yeah.
If I'm building a rocket, I probably shouldn't trust my gut.
Yeah, I'm not going to be doing that in any time, ever.
Hey guys, I want to tell you about my friend Wes Cody. He's the president of C2 Wealth Strategies, a financial advisory firm dedicated to providing personalized solutions for your financial needs. Wes and his team of professionals are passionate about helping clients create wealth and achieve financial freedom. At C2 Wealth Strategies, they believe in taking a holistic approach to financial planning and are committed to building long-lasting relationships with their clients, ensuring their financial well-being every step of the way. Don't leave your financial future to chance. Contact Wes and C2 Wealth today at c2wealth.com to schedule a consultation. Let Wes and his team help you build your financial future.
If you're a small business owner looking to take your business to the next level, listen up. My good friend Chris Francis has spent over 20 years growing his tree care business to national success. Now he's partnered with Rick Miller, you've probably heard him here on the podcast before, Harvard MBA, and business consultant to create Roadmap for Growth, an online course to help you scale, build teams, and create systems that last. It's not just for the tree industry. This course applies to any small service business. Check out treebusiness.com or hit the link on the Overlap homepage to learn more.
Hey guys,
Yeah.
Can I throw in a couple of personal gut stories here?
Yeah, sure.
I will, but I would name some names, and that's not going to go. That's not going to go well.
Well, for our younger listeners that might be in their 20s or 30s, the sunk cost fallacy.
Sure.
I was in a relationship, and my gut was like, "This is not right. This is not going to last.
Oh,
You're not going to marry this
yeah.
person." And man, I just drug it on and on and on for like 2 years.
I can't tell you why I stayed in that relationship.
And then the other thing is, my wife and I, in our last house, we really wanted to build a deck. We were determined to do it, and we thought we could do it for a budget that was a little lower. And I knew I made a mistake when the guy pulled up with 12-foot lumber in the back of his pickup truck hanging out, and then his girlfriend was helping him unload it around the back. And you know that feeling?
Oh yeah.
And you're
I know
like,
it.
I'm just gonna see it through. And you know what we ended up doing?
No.
Hiring somebody to rebuild the deck when it started sinking. And the guy disassembled it all the way to the ledger, rebuilt it. And by the time we paid for it, it was more expensive than if we just hired the right guy.
Yeah. You buy cheap, you buy twice.
Yeah, I have so many. I have so many of those stories.
Man, painting trucks. So we were painting our trucks, and there was this one guy that was out there, and he was a little bit cheaper, and Turned out he kept our trucks for about 2 months. And I don't know if he was getting high off the paint fumes or methamphetamines or both. But eventually, he just kept pushing us off where I had to threaten to have the sheriff's office come out there with me to take those trucks away from him. And I gave him a deadline and had to go out and get them. And it wasn't even the right color. And I knew it was wrong. I mean, I've had so many experiences with, buy cheap, buy twice kind of thing that I shouldn't have ever done it, but I did. I thought I was going to save a couple $1,000. It ended up costing me more like $8,000 to get them all repainted. And heartache, and didn't have, how much is it? How expensive is it to not have those trucks out there running, which each one of them is producing X amount of dollars a day on top of having to pay for some more.
Well, sometimes you can save yourself out of business.
You can step over $10 bills to pick up dimes.
Yep.
Man, you really can. There's a freaking episode right there. Stepping over $10 bills to pick up dimes.
Done it many times.
Me too. Relationships, same way. You're right, Tim. You stick with them because I can probably change this person. It's going to be better after this. They're just trying to find themselves. We're really in love. All that.
He's 40. You're not changing him. Just get you can't make him good.
I don't know why you're using him.
Well, I have daughters.
I don't know why you're. Oh, okay. You're talking about. I didn't know why you're using the him pronoun.
Yeah, I have one daughter that just doesn't pick well.
Oh, her picker is broke.
Yeah, her picker's broke.
I
hope she don't listen to this. She's gonna be so ticked.
That's all right.
Yeah,
that's all right. They don't listen to this ever.
Yeah,
it's so not cool.
Yeah, not cool at all.
They're listening to it. We're not on TikTok. So if you are listening to this, go check out our sponsor page, though. We're not on TikTok, but we do have a sponsor page, and they do make this thing possible. And we do use all of their services. If they're sponsoring our podcast, we trust them, we believe in them, and we hope you will use their service because they make this thing possible. We appreciate you. We appreciate them. And hopefully this helps you rethink about listening to your gut. Listen to your gut. Lots of times you got to do it, and most of the times we sort of rationalize our way away from it. So just reinforcing that it's there for a reason, so use it, especially if it's in an area that you've got expertise and experience in. That's all I got, Keith.
That's good. Let's trust your gut today.
Trust your gut.
Try it. If it don't work, then go back to the old way.
All right. Well, I'm out.
Peace.